Okay, so we're recording now, and I'm gonna try to get the Facebook Live going. As you guys know, I am not the most techie. All right, they make so many buttons to click. So let's see if we can get this going. It is preparing, so hopefully in any moment now we will be going live. Okay, it looks like it's going. Ta-da. I'm gonna go live without a title. It's too many things to do for just one of me. Okay, so I'm just gonna start talking. I think most of you may know this already, but in case anyone is watching for the first time on the playback, the type of mediumship that I practice is called evidential mediumship. Where'd you guys go? 1 second. I lost everyone. Oh, you guys are still there. There you are. Okay, I think I have it now. I found the window. Okay. So I'm just going to continue to bring a couple other people over. So it's a good showing today. The type of mediumship that I practice is called evidential mediumship, which means that I like loved ones to give specific details and evidence of who they were in the physical world so that we can be sure that, yes, this is your loved one. I'm just promoting everyone here. Seems like it's working. Okay, so the ways that they can give me this information is sometimes they'll talk about jobs that they had or hobbies that they had in the physical world. Sometimes it will be items that they loved when they were here. Sometimes it will be largely through their personality and how they expressed that when they were spending time with you in the physical world. What we often will do, just for the sake of time with the Facebook Live and trying to get through everyone, is sometimes we'll ask for a first name and relationship of who you're hoping to hear from today. In a one-on-one setting and also in the group demonstration, like the live event setting, we don't do it this way. I just see who I naturally become aware of and then start working with them, figure out who in the audience they go to, and work from there. But just for the sake of time in this process, often we'll just ask for name and relationship. So I'm hoping to get to as many people today as I can. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. And I'm just gonna ask for volunteers. So is there anyone who would like to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, there you are. Okay, so just give me first name and relationship of who you're hoping to hear from today.
Anthony and grandfather.
All right, let's give me just a minute here to tune in. Okay. So what's interesting with your grandpa is he feels like he would have been a really, sorry, that little bit just distracted me, a really entertaining personality. So would you understand that he was very charismatic personality-wise?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But with that, I know that he also likes to entertain. So can you understand him also hosting parties and events and things? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. But it doesn't feel like these are regular middle-class parties. These feel really fancy. So would you know that, did they sometimes host events that were a little more well-to-do, can we say?
Probably. I mean, like yeah.
Okay, and don't be afraid to say no to me, because if I'm not understanding something correctly, I can always go back and try to work with him and understand it better. Okay. So would you understand, oftentimes the way I experience it is that the wife is more the host, but he feels like he's equally involved in hosting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He really likes the whole planning process and the actual welcoming of guests and likes to be the one shaking hands and first greeter, if you will. Does that make sense for his personality?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So do you get to spend some time at their home? Like, I feel it's more than just a day here and there. It feels like you get to go for extended periods sometimes when you're younger. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, there was one situation where I had to go there for about a month.
Okay, so that must be what he's bringing us to. So let's see. Is he already retired or semi-retired at that time?
Yes.
Okay, because it feels like he gets a lot of time with you. It's almost like, do you guys have memories during that time of sitting and having like breakfast together or morning coffee or whatever that looks like? Because it feels like that's part of the time where he gets to really connect to you in a deeper one-on-one way and starts to have more of a full friendship and understanding of you rather than just a grandpa relationship, if that makes sense. Okay, are you already a young woman at this point? Because it doesn't feel like you're a small child. It feels like you're a little bit older than that.
Yeah, so I was a teenager.
Okay, good. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so the reason that you're there, I don't know that I'm going to get exactly what it is, but it feels like it's a little more emotionally heavy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and it feels like he has this way when you're spending time with him, just distracting you and making other events, or this is the errands we have to run today, just to kind of give you some space from that heaviness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And with Grandpa, can you also understand him having a pretty strong sense of humor?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that as a grandpa, this humor could be perceived as like a little bit of like a corny grandpa humor? Because I feel like he has different types of humor for different people, but it does feel like he's making just very, I don't know, funny kind of grandpa style jokes with you anyway. The other thing is, it feels like wherever he goes on these errands with you, whether we're just going about basic errands day to day, the people that he comes in contact with all know him. Does that make sense? It feels like he has a way of building even just casual relationships with people that he comes across in his path. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
The other bit with Grandpa is I feel like he's a little bit of a charmer with the ladies. Would you know that about him?
Yeah.
Like it feels like he has just a way of making a woman feel special and seen and recognized. It doesn't feel inappropriate, but it feels like he gives that attention and those type of compliments.
He was inappropriate. So
He was inappropriate.
well, with his own wife, basically, in front of the grandkids. So yeah.
Because it just does feel like he's quite flirty, if that makes sense. But I feel like he's quick to introduce you to people too. So it's not like he's wanting to hide you. It feels like he brings you in, brings you along, introduces you. Okay, let's see. During that time, do you guys have some really strong heart-to-heart talks where he helps you make some decisions about going forward in which direction?
Not that I remember.
Okay, let me see if I can understand him a little bit better then. Okay. Do you remember him asking you questions about your plans for the future and your goals going forward? Okay. Are you at that time not 100% set on one direction that's very clear and focused? Because it kind of feels like you're either in between a few directions or in like, rather than a straight and narrow, you're in like this range, if that makes sense.
That should be right.
No, it's not really clear the way I'm saying that. Because it just feels like there's this encouragement from him. Let me see if I can understand it a little bit better. The funny thing with him is, even though I feel like he wants you to follow your passion and do, things with your next steps in life at that time that make you happy, I feel like he does give you some guidance and counsel about making sure that what you do is financially sound for you. Does that make sense?
That should be right.
Because it just feels like he's, he wants you to be able to stand on your own and be financially stable. He just feels like he's saying it has to be a blend of both. It reminds me of when someone says they want to be an actor and people are like, you've got to pay your bills.
Yeah, I mean, and I went to school for biology. So that was like my thought of being financially sound was going to be a doctor, like something like that. So
yeah, but it feels like, obviously that's not what you end up doing. So it feels like he encourages you, but I almost wonder if he didn't quite see you going, if he felt like there was something else for you than being a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, the other bit is, this is a funny thing for you to have, but do you still have a watch that belonged to Grandpa?
I don't think so.
Okay, do you know if someone else in the family has it if you don't?
Oh, this is funny. I think you're tuning into something, which is funny. It's not a watch, so it's a clock.
Okay, it's a clock.
Yeah.
I could take that then.
Okay.
But do you have it?
I don't.
Your mom has it?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay, look at someone else in the family then.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see what he wants to say about that. It feels like the message there is just to let yourself know that there's always time to change your mind, if that makes sense, that you can head down one direction and even get, all the way through, like with biology, and then you can still change your mind or make a different decision, or even if it's just a sidestep rather than like a full course correction.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself that it's got to look like this in this timeline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think he's just saying which I feel like you do. I mean, I know you a little bit. He's saying make sure you have time to kind of stop and smell the roses and have your life experiences and enjoy yourself along the way. Okay, with this new year that we're entering into, are you just feeling like you really want to make a push career-wise to accelerate and get some of those goals going?
I love what I'm doing now. And that's the thing. Like, I know I'm on the right path. All my signs lead to it. We're growing the business. It's like every month we have like 5 to 6 new clients with their new offer. So we're doing really well with that. I think like what I'm getting more like intuitively is like, I need to be putting my face out there more, and also mixing in spirituality with what I'm doing in business, like not just be business oriented and working like, 12-hour days.
Yes. I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
I do feel like that's the acknowledgement, is that you're getting ready to really, hit the ground running and make a big push with how much you're putting out there and what you're doing. And it's not to discourage you about that, but it's just to say, make sure that you're also balancing that with time to enjoy yourself. And this is, the best.
And that's what I'm not doing right now. So that totally makes sense. And the thing, I want to go back to the clock, because like my dad, got it after my grandpa passed, and inside of it he left a note that nobody knew about. So I wonder if you're kind of picking up on that a little bit with the watch.
Probably, and just not getting all the way in there with it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Missed a bit there, but that is really cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing him with me. He feels like a really fun and interesting guy, and I know there's much more to his personality than we touched on today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Even further. Yeah, thank you. Do we have a next volunteer for me?
I volunteer.
Hey, Joan, how are you?
Good, Joan.
I gotta tell you, everyone, that I do know Joan just a little bit. We are in a class together sometimes, but I don't feel like I've read for you very much.
You haven't.
So, okay, yay.
You're in this with the same man, but in a different class.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So who would you like to hear from today?
I would like to hear from Phyllis, and she is my mother.
Okay, great. So give me just a minute here. All right. Can you understand with your mom that she has a very strong personality and that she likes to do things very much her own way?
Yes.
Here's why. She's kind of wanting to jump right to messaging and giving me other information, but I'm like, Mom, I need a little bit of detail from you. So would that be her personality to just kind of jump ahead to get to what she wants to get to?
Yes.
It's really funny. Do you have a sister?
Yes.
Okay, because I know she sends love to. Is there just the 2 girls?
Yes. Well, no.
No, it's okay.
There's another sibling.
Another sibling. Okay, but 2 of them girls?
Yes.
Okay, because I know she sends love to the girls.
Thank you.
That's what she wanted to get to, and I was like, I need details. Okay, so with your mom, would you also understand her to be? I don't know. It feels like she's out and about in her younger life, but then as she gets older, it feels like she's more of a homebody. Does that make sense?
I can understand that.
Okay, and would you understand her to have lived in her last home for several years?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like she has some things that are quite old. So would you understand some of her furniture to be kept around for like a long period of time?
Yes.
Because it feels like she's got this one chair. It's kind of like it reminds me of a recliner. Did she have a chair like that?
Yes.
Okay. And is that sort of like an older chair? It just doesn't feel like it's brand new. It feels like she's had it for a long time, and it even looks a little 70s or 80s to me.
Yes.
Okay. Is that kind of her spot that she sits in?
Yes.
I feel like she's got a lot of her goodies next to her. So would she have been one to do like TV Guide or something like that where there's a little puzzle inside?
She's sitting right there, probably.
It's right there. Okay. I feel like she's got it kind of like a little station for herself where if she doesn't want to get up, there's enough things to entertain her right beside her. Does that make sense?
I agree. Yes.
Okay. And the funny thing with her is, does she like, I want to say like the judge programs on TV where it's like the little courtroom setting and they do that whole thing?
I think she might have.
Okay. Because I feel like she's kind of got her TV lineup of the things she wants to see and can't miss. And it feels like there are several of them all in a row, if that makes sense. Is that part of what she'd like to do during the day? Okay. Yeah. And are you in driving distance to her at this time?
Yes.
Okay, because it feels like sometimes you're going over there and picking her up and taking her out for errands and things, but it doesn't feel like it's every day, but it feels like it's, pretty regularly. Does that make sense?
I did, yes.
Okay. I know that she really appreciated that time with you, even though I feel like your mom's a little bit like persnickety, can I say? Like she's very particular and wants, does she get like anxiety if you're like a few minutes late or if things aren't on the schedule that she feels like they should be on?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, let me see if I can understand that then. So let me see. Okay. Do you know, does she just really look forward to these days when you're going to be doing outings?
She probably did, yes, and got ready for them, yes.
Yeah, because it feels like it's, she knows when it's coming and she looks forward to it for a couple days. Okay, so let me see what else. Is a beauty salon one of the things you're taking her to do?
No.
No, that's interesting. Because it feels like she runs across other friends that she knows somewhere that you guys are going, and I'm trying to understand what that is exactly. Because does she have other lady friends outside of you?
No.
No. Okay. So I'm just misunderstanding that then. So let me see. Let me go back to what I know about her. Okay. The other bit is your mom a tea drinker?
No.
No. Coffee?
Yes.
Okay. She keeps showing me a little mug. So I'm trying to understand that. I know that she's just got a very routine schedule during the day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
She kind of, wakes up at the same time and does her morning routine, and then that's the way her day moves along. Okay. She makes me feel like that you're sort of like that, but are you trying to break out of that right now? Where you're trying to shake things up in your day to day?
Yes.
Okay. So it feels like it's a new thing for you. Does that make sense? Like it feels like you're kind of regimented too a little bit, where you're used to getting up at the same time and having your schedule, and you're trying to break out of that a little bit just to shift. Okay, let me see if I can look at that. Are you trying to make more space for your mediumship?
Yes.
Okay. There's a real encouragement from mom on that. I think she's really excited about it. But it does feel like she'd get really excited about things that you wanted to do and try, and like she's a good support to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, she was a good support. Yeah.
So I know that she's very excited about this too. I don't know this about you, Joan, but are you a mom as well?
Yes.
Okay, because it's almost a sense, are your kids grown now?
Yes.
It's a sense that this is your time and that you should be getting to explore your schedule and arrange it the way you like, because this is really one of the first times in your life that there's enough time and space to do that. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. Yes, it does, certainly.
Well, I know that there's a real encouragement from her to keep doing it. And it feels like you'll do it in stages, where it's this much time now, and then in a couple months it'll be more, and then more. But it just feels like she's really excited that she feels like this is self-care for you in a way, that this is how you're giving yourself what you need.
It is.
And it does feel like, okay, she makes me aware that both of you in your lives as moms have given a lot of your time and yourself as a mom. I mean, that's often what we do.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but that this is really a nice shift for you into a time when it's a time for you to make way for yourself and to allow yourself the time and space and not have to feel guilty or pressured about, I have to hurry up because I've got to pick someone up. This is just a new time for you. And is this a commitment that you've made to yourself in the new year?
Yes.
Okay. She's really excited about that. And I know that there's strong encouragement from her and that she'll be watching and supporting you from the other side. Does she have a sister there with her?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that she's sending you support also because she links arms with her. Well, thank you so much for sharing
so
her
much.
with me. And Joan's a fantastic medium, so I'm excited for her to keep working. It's sometimes tough for us to make time in our schedules to do it.
Thank you so much, Joy.
Oh, Joan.
Lovely.
Thank you. Do you have a next volunteer for me? I feel like it's Haley who's trying to volunteer, but your signal seems really broken right now. So can you hear me?
I just walked.
All right, try again. Maybe we can hear you. Okay, it seems like your signal's pretty.
Okay, there I go.
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
Yeah, I was leaving my Wi-Fi.
Okay. So let's see. It seems like we have you now. Are you stationary?
Huh?
Are you stationary, like where you're not actually the one driving?
Yeah, no, my sister's driving. She's actually in on your call too.
Okay, good. Okay, I see her next to you in both ways. I see her in the little frame.
Yep.
Okay, so who are you hoping to hear from today?
My grandmother, Patty.
Okay, give me just a minute. All right. Okay, so you and your sister both get to know Grandma Patty pretty well. Is that true?
Yes, I was very close to her.
Okay. It feels like you get a good amount of time with her even into your adult years. Like it's not just when you're a little child. It's as an
No,
adult.
she died when I was 17, 16.
17. Okay. Let me see if I can understand her a little bit better then.
My aunt passed away in my adulthood.
Your aunt did. Okay, so maybe one with her. Let me just take a minute to see if I can understand her. Is there more than just you and your sister? You guys have another sister?
We have two other sisters,
Two other
yes.
sisters. Okay, that makes sense. Are they a little bit older than you, at least one of them?
One of them's older and then one of her's younger.
Okay, that makes sense then. Okay, so let me just see if I can bring them in a little bit more. Your grandma just feels like a firecracker. Does that make sense with her personality?
Yes,
Like she just does not always even have a filter is how it feels.
No.
But I know she's just a sweet lady if she likes you. Like she's just
yes.
and really, but does she have just this like sarcastic sense of humor with her too?
Yes.
She feels just really she's really funny, but she's like quick-witted with it. And
that might be my aunt.
Might be your aunt. Does it feel more like her?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can understand her a little bit more. Because I do feel both of them. So let me just see if I can separate them out.
That sounds about right.
Okay. So is it that your aunt is very witty and quick and then your grandma is always laughing at everything she says?
Yes.
I feel like they get along really well.
Very.
Okay. Do they actually live together at one point when your aunt's an
yes.
adult? Okay. Because it's like they just become such good friends and so close.
Yes.
Let's see if I can understand. And I know that your aunt caretakes for her mom just a little bit, but it still feels like your grandma's pretty able-bodied at this time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is your grandma the one that's a really good cook that cooks a lot for the family?
Yes.
Okay.
Love her.
I feel like that she teaches your aunt some of this, and then as your grandma gets older and is maybe not so dexterous like with her hands, that her daughter helps a bit. Does that make sense?
Okay, so that was probably my aunt with my grandmother.
Okay.
My aunt took care of my 90-year-old grandma before she passed away.
Okay.
My great grandmother she took care of. My grandmother, she died really young. She died at 56.
Wow, that is really young. Okay, so then is that great grandma? Is she also a really good cook?
She was when she was
Okay.
able to cook, yes.
Okay, so then there's all three of them.
No, she's still alive.
She is. Okay, so let me see if I can understand this. So your grandma that passes young, this is Grandma Patty.
Yes.
Did it sort of sometimes in their relationship feel like she and your aunt are kind of sisters? Because they both
Yes.
have such a
They
young
always got called
feeling
sisters.
about them. Okay, that makes sense then. All right, so what else can I understand about her? So let's see. And would you understand your aunt being a smoker?
Yes, both of them were.
Both of them were. That is not good for grandma, but
No.
they just give me these memories of them sitting kind of around the kitchen table and just having cigarettes and talking. And
Yes, all the time, every morning.
it feels like that's where they're really comfortable. Not that they never hang out in other parts of the house, but it feels like we see them hanging around in the kitchen quite a bit. Does that make sense?
Yes, all the time.
And it's just a sense that they could just talk for hours just about nothing, and you hear them laughing and joking, and it's a really good time for them. Okay, so let me see what else I can understand. But does your aunt live with her for quite a bit of time?
Yes.
Okay. So it just feels like she's really, lives there. So let's see what else I could understand. Does your grandma try to maintain her independence though? Because she feels like she's just such an independent lady.
Yes, very.
Okay.
She used to ask for help.
Yeah, because it just feels like she wants to drive, she wants to get around, she wants to.
Yep.
I feel like your aunt goes with her often.
Yes.
But I know that she has no problem getting out and doing things on her own. Yeah, and it's that funny sense of humor again. Okay, so I think I felt like this was originally Joan's mom, but then I think it was shades of your grandma. You would understand her visiting the beauty parlor?
Yes.
Someone older keeps saying beauty parlor, maybe.
Well, she didn't really visit the beauty parlor as much, but she had her very share of wigs.
Oh, that's interesting. But I can't tell if it's originally, does she have someone else style them?
Yes, she has them personally made.
Okay, so that's where I am then. But it's funny because it's like she has no problem changing her appearance. It's like,
No, never.
blonde hair this day and red hair this day, and
Yes.
she likes to play with it. Okay, but is your aunt not into the wig thing?
So she wasn't until she passed away from leukemia, and when she lost all her hair, that's when
she had to. But before that, she feels like she doesn't do that for a long time.
Right.
And is your aunt remembered for wearing like really bright lipstick or really pronounced lipstick?
Yes.
Okay, she's showing me that.
Yes, she loved it.
What's funny is I feel like if you're around them, it's kind of both of them talking rapid fire and talking over each other and this laughing, happy atmosphere. Is that kind of the personality they had together?
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot of fun. But I feel like you guys get to spend time with them when you're young. It's like your mom must be bringing you guys over there and then all spending time together. Because I see lots of kids running around, but I don't feel like the kids are always there. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's how it was. My grandma my grandma Patty helped raise me, and so did my aunt at times.
Well, that's really cool. They just feel really, really bonded with you guys. So I know that there's kids in the back. Are those your sister's kids?
One's mine and two were hers. She just took them into class.
And they make me feel like they know about the next generation, even though I don't know that they both got to spend a lot of time with your kids. Does that make sense?
Never got to meet any of my kids, no.
But are there more, I guess it would be great grandkids for your grandma. Are there more kids than just those three in the family?
Yes, there's 7 of them.
Wow, that's a lot. Because they just make me feel like it's a big family, but they feel like they like a big family.
We've always been a very big family.
They just like the energy and the excitement and the running around, and it's almost like they both give me the feeling that it's like if it's a quiet household, then something is wrong.
Yes, that's our daily struggle.
And I feel like it's not just the voices and the motion with the kids. It's they like music on, and they're fine to have
Yes.
musical there. and it's like they're singing and laughing, and it's kind of like coming home to a party all the time is how it feels.
Yes.
But I feel like they wouldn't have it any other way, if that makes sense.
Yes, they wouldn't.
Did you help to look after your aunt a little bit when she gets sick?
A little bit.
A little bit. The thing is, okay, she makes me feel like there's a portion where she's not doing well, where it feels like she's either having treatment or medication of some kind. And it's either you or your sister, I can't tell which, kind of flashes to that memory quite a bit of her when she's just looking not herself, if that makes sense.
I do that all the time.
Okay, she's encouraging you to remember, you know, the bright lipstick and the laughing and that kind of smoker's cough after the laugh if she laughs too hard. And she's saying if you can just remember that part of her, and if you can, you know, switch out that memory and remember that's really how she wants to be thought of. And in her younger years, she just shows me that she's just so beautiful. So she's like, you know, there's
Very, very beautiful.
other memories is kind of what she's saying, that if, you know, she's so grateful for your help during that time. And I do feel like she tried to kind of keep you separate from when she was not looking great, because I feel like she didn't really want to be seen that way.
She didn't tell anybody until it was almost too late.
Okay. Yeah, because I just know that there's this encouragement with her to try to remember the happier times and when she is well and when she is herself is kind of the way she's saying it. And did your grandma pass away before her?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that was also very hard on her. Of course, it's hard on the whole family, but it just feels very, very hard on her.
Yes.
Do you see your grandma right before she passes?
So my sister went and saw her body in the morgue after she passed away.
Oh, this would be before. So do they take grandma to the hospital right at the last of her life?
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't go because I was too scared.
You didn't make it. Does someone else make it?
My mother did.
Okay, because it feels like your mom is with her right at the very, very end. So is your mom actually
Very, very end. Was holding her hand.
That's how it feels. And then I know that she says some words to her, and your grandma just wants her to know that everything is understood that she shares at that time. And it's almost the sense that you have kind of mentally set up thoughts or prayers to her, just saying, you know, I miss you. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
Every day.
And she just says it's the same as if you were there, and she wouldn't have wanted you to be scared either. And it's a feeling that don't worry about that. It's a sense that she's aware how uncomfortable you are with hospitals just in general.
I hate hospitals.
You feel it's like the noises, the smell, the whole thing, like
everything.
So she just makes me feel like you would have been so uncomfortable there that she wouldn't have wanted that for you anyway. Okay. Does one of your siblings actually call in to the hospital when your mom's there to talk to grandma or to put the phone near her?
I'm not sure. My older sister maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Check with her later, but if you're open to that, or if she's open,
okay.
No pressure. But it is the sense that someone called and the phone was put by her, and she was kind of doesn't feel like she was 100% all the way alert at that time, and she just wants to acknowledge that she did receive the thoughts and kind words that were being given to her at that time. And that it just feels like she was so uncomfortable and in so much physical pain right at the end.
She was. Her intestines had exploded.
Oh my goodness, poor dear. So it just feels like it was that made her transition a little bit easier, just because she was able to release all of the pain and just go into a more comfortable state, if that makes sense. And then immediately it's like all her pain was gone. So she also just brings me to that time, you know, when you guys are small in the kitchen and it's all the aunts and moms and grandmas in the kitchen and you guys are little and everyone's laughing and happy and it's kind of not a care in the world. And she just says, kind of give yourself a break about not being there at the end and take yourself to that time, because those were the cherished like treasures of memories anyway. So if you and your sister both can just try to remember more of that and less of the illness, that's feels like what they would both prefer. So, well, thank you so much for sharing them with me. They're really strong and fun ladies.
Thank you.
I'm gonna see if I can get to a couple more of you. Oh, I muted you. Wait a minute. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, Danica, what did you want to say?
Am I up?
Yeah, you are. Just a lot of people.
I'm looking to talk to my boyfriend, Drew.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Haley, you may have to mute your phone because I'm hearing myself twice. Okay, so boyfriend Drew is in spirit world?
Yes.
Okay, give me just a minute to tune into him. Okay. So the first thing that he brings me, do you understand him loving to do paintball?
I'm not really sure if paintball, but he was my little nerd.
Okay, because he keeps showing me himself in more of like that camo. Did he do video games?
Yes.
Okay, that's where we are, because I'm like, why do I feel like we're at war, but we're not shooting real people? Okay, so that's how he's identifying himself, which is really cool if that was his thing. But
Yeah,
it's
that
more
was
than one type of video games. Is it video games, the traditional sense, and then also some sort of computer game that he did?
he was straight computer games, like fanatic. Like
Okay.
that's what he just wanted to do.
Because it feels like he makes several friends through that I don't know that he gets to meet in person, but they play together pretty frequently. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that this is just such a happy escape for him, if that makes sense. Okay, let me see what else I can understand.
It was.
Well,
That's
you
what
guys
he did.
together sort of at the, I want to say it's like the tail end of high school. You're like 19-ish or a little bit younger.
22.
22, okay. You look so young to me, so I'm trying not to judge you on your age, but
No makeup.
you look like 20 right now. Okay,
Oh.
let me see. All right. The other thing with him is he just makes me feel like it was such a simple time then. Like he's playing video games and drinking beer, and it's a lot easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he wasn't much of a drinker, but like every once in a while he'd be like, I'm gonna drink a beer.
Yeah,
And then, but he would just,
heavy drinking. Feels casual.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys actually live together for a little while?
So he was gonna move in 2 days before he passed away.
Okay. So you had just begun to,
Mhm.
but it had already been decided. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he does make me feel like we're taking the next steps in our relationship, like we're moving towards marriage at some point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Have you already had that conversation and start talking about that?
Yes.
Because he makes me feel like you guys had even decided that you both did want children. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yes.
Because a lot of guys at that age are not aware that they want that, but he feels like he's known for a long time that he did want that.
Mhm.
So let me see what else I can understand about him. Did you guys talk about getting a pet together?
No, it was just more of like a topic that would come up.
Okay, that you had talked about maybe getting a pet when you moved together.
Yeah.
It feels like that was kind of the progression that he's going for, is like, let's move in together, let's get a pet, then we'll get married, then we'll have kids. But he feels like a long-term planner. Like he plans and has goals and
He had the whole shenanigans.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. And the other thing is, had he just either, let me see if I can understand this. Was he up for promotion with his work? Because it feels like he had already been working there, but he was wanting to move up there as well.
So he didn't work due because he had epilepsy.
Okay, so let me see if I can understand that a little bit then.
He wanted to constantly work, and his dad owns a karaoke business, and he would work for them on the weekends, like set it up, break it down. But his dad was just about to give him the karaoke company.
Okay, so in that way, he's getting kind of like a a promotion.
Yeah, he's leveling up.
Is he also doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with the business when he is not out and about? Okay, so it feels like he's doing more on the computer with that as well. Okay, let me see what else I can understand about him. What's funny is karaoke business is kind of an extroverted business, but he feels a little more introverted than that. Does that make sense?
Oh my goodness, yes. He was way over passionate about this thing because he was a singer, and it was like he just took that was his life. Like, oh
but
my goodness.
Outside of that arena, is he pretty introverted, and then this is his time where he kind of shows himself to the world? Because it feels like aside from that, he's a pretty mellow and introverted guy. And then this is his space.
Yeah, he's more of a stay-at-home guy, but when he does go out, like, nobody will have a smile on their face. Like, he could turn someone crying to the happiest person. He just made an impact so much.
Funny. Okay. Okay, so he wants to talk about his passing a little bit. You understand it? Obviously, it's very quick and very tragic. That makes sense.
Yes.
Would you understand car accident with him?
No.
Okay, it just feels like, let me see if I can understand that. Is an accident of some sort?
Yeah, he had epilepsy, and he took a nap because he wasn't feeling good, and he ended up having a seizure and choking himself.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, do you know, sorry to go here, but this is where he's taking me. Do you notice is there also a fall? Does he like fall off of the bed or the couch?
I don't know, but he was on his bed, like on his back.
Okay. He just makes me feel like there's an impact of some kind, so I was just trying to understand that. And maybe, I mean, I know a little bit about epilepsy, so maybe it's just having to do with that. But it does feel like it's very unexpected, because he makes me feel like he's taking the precautions and taking the, doing the things that the doctors have asked him to do.
Yes, it was so suddenly and unexpectedly, and he's been fine, and he was without a seizure for 2 years, and then I don't know, he was so on point with his medication, on what he ate. And,
yeah, because it feels like he had, even within the last few months before his passing, he had even like leveled up there too. Like he's trying extra hard. He's, you know what I mean, taking additional steps even of, because I know for a while he was doing just the medication and stuff, but then it feels like progressively he's doing more and more and more towards his health, if that makes sense. Because it's just, he has this passion for life and wants to live and is very excited about moving to the next steps in his life. Okay. So, are you currently with a partner?
It's very complicated. It was my kids' father.
That's what I was going to ask you, because he makes me feel like there's someone from before that you reconnect with. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, did he actually get the opportunity to know your kids a little bit too?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So I know you have two, just because we already talked about that with your sister. Do you have one of each, a boy and a girl?
No, 2 boys.
2 boys, okay. Is there one of them that still talks about him?
He will tell me that there's a ghost around, and I'll ask him, describe him. Is it a male, female? And like he'll spot on name like what he looks like.
So that's where I'm going with this. Is I feel like he wants to just acknowledge that one of them is still seeing him and still aware of him and talks about him. So the encouragement is if you're comfortable with it, just keep doing what you're doing and honor that and just say, tell me more about that, or what do you think, or it doesn't feel like they perceive it in a scary way. It's just a fact that someone's here, it's happening. And I know that he spends time supporting you. Okay, so I know you said it's complicated, but he makes me feel like it. I'm not going to put your business out there, but I'll just say a little more than complicated. Okay, we can just leave it there. And it's just a sense that he wants you to know that he's supporting you with whatever decisions you make, even if you change your mind back and forth a lot. That he's supporting you as you go forward, because he says at the base of everything that you guys have always had a very strong friendship between the two of you. Girl, if you're driving, you better pull over.
Yeah, I'm fine. I can understand how bad I need this.
Oh, pull over. But it is just the sense that he wants you to know that that friendship, no matter what changes in your life or that it's changed, that he's not physically present with you in the same way, that friendship never changes, that he hears you when you're talking to him and when you're asking him for advice and guidance and support, that he does hear you. And that when you feel him around and the signs that you feel like you're getting in the physical world to like go this direction or go that direction, he wants to acknowledge that that is him trying to reach out and provide you with those things. Yeah, and just overwhelming sense of love and support and compassion for you. Like, it's interesting because even though it's like a different guy, he totally understands you and gets you and wants to support you with whatever choices and decisions you make. And I feel like that's how he was when he was here. He wasn't going to make your choices for you or tell you what to do, but he'll give you his opinion, and then he'll support you with your choices. He just wants you to know he's going to continue to do that. So, well, thank you so much for sharing him with me.
Oh, thank you so much.
For not getting in a car accident.
No, ma'am, but this is definitely what I needed to hear.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I could give you a little piece. And he's a really good communicator, so thank you so much for trusting me with him.
Thank you.
I think we have time to get to one more person. Mark's got his hand raised, so I'm gonna go to Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you? Good to see you.
Good, how you doing?
Good. I know Mark a little bit over the years. Some of you know that I did some acting before a long time ago. So I know Mark from that world, even though we've never actually met in person. Our paths have crossed over the internet here and there. So who do you want to hear from today?
I'll do my grandma.
Okay, and remind me her first name?
Martha.
Martha, okay. Let's see. Okay. So is this your dad's mom?
Yeah.
Okay. She's talking about your dad. So let's see. So Mark and I also are friends on Facebook, so I know just a tiny bit about what's going on with him, just to be transparent with that. Okay. I know she's been supporting you and your whole family as your dad's come through his illness, and things are looking good on the other side. So you must have felt her around helping and supporting with this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So it feels like she's so present, but she's just got this gentle presence. Does that make sense?
She does, yeah.
And it's kind of like she can hold space for the whole family. And what I mean for that is when she's alive and with us in the physical world, that if she's in the room, everything just feels safe and calm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
And you know that if she's there, nothing's going to get too out of hand because she's going to make sure everything's okay. Okay. Does your dad have brothers?
He has one, yeah.
Okay, one brother. So let's see. Okay. Is it more than just the two of them, though?
Just those two.
Just those two. That's interesting. She talks about her boys. And it's a sense that she's such a sweet lady, but she had to develop this toughness to be a mom of boys. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It feels like your dad and his brother were kind of all boys, the way she makes me feel. Do they do sports when they're younger?
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat. It feels like they're very outside and playing and rough and tumble when they're small kids. Okay, let me see what else I can understand about her. But she makes me feel like that you and her have a really special closeness. Does that make sense? Do you actually spend a good amount of time with her at her home? Like, it feels like she's really close distance to you.
Well, I mean, she passed away 10 years ago, but yeah.
Well, but I mean, when she's living, are you living physically close to where she lives?
We were like 2 hours apart, yeah. So
okay.
I would come there like once a month, basically.
Okay, once a month is a good amount of time. But she makes me feel like even when you're small, do you guys do family vacations together, or does she go with your family on vacation sometimes when you're younger?
She did every now and then, not like often,
No,
but once.
yeah, not all the time. I think she's bringing me to one specific memory. Is there a memory with your family where you guys, I can't tell if you own this house or you rent it, but it looks like a lake house. You guys have a memory of going for like feels like a family vacation, even if it's just a few days, where there's like a lake nearby?
Yeah.
Okay. And did she go with you on this vacation?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's bringing us to that memory. Okay, that's interesting. Let me see what else I can understand about it. But it feels like she just, during that time, really just likes to sit out and see the lake. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And are you guys coming and going with activities and all kinds of stuff? Because she feels like you're still fairly young when this happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys going out and doing like fishing and boating and that kind of stuff?
No.
Not really. Okay. Because she just feels like she's just fine to enjoy sitting there and seeing the lake. Is she a little bit older at this time? She feels like she can still get around, but she doesn't feel like she's going on hikes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the way I want to say it. Okay, so let's see. But what's interesting is she has this way of just really listening to you. So I know that you would sit and kind of talk to her and tell her stories about your day and all kinds of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just a very good listener. Is there a time in her life where she works as a teacher?
She didn't work as a teacher. She worked at a grocery store.
Okay, that's not what I want then. So let me see if I can understand that. It's almost a sense that she kind of feels like the perfect first grade teacher. Like she has that energy about her. We don't usually talk about people like that, but she just has this really calm and smooth energy with her. So let's see what else I can understand about her. Okay. She just calls you her special boy. So did she call you that when she was alive?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And it is the sense that she just really could understand you and your personality, that you tend to be a little bit more reserved sometimes too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it is just that she, even though you didn't necessarily always show a lot of emotion, that she kind of knew your emotion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it does feel like as you grow, you confide in her, and is she good at giving you advice?
Yeah, she was.
Because it does feel like you open up and actually really talk to her and share with her. Does that make sense? Okay. So she makes me feel like that with her passing, okay, did just systems start to break down inside her body?
Yeah. She had a stroke.
Okay. Because it's a sense that one thing leads to another, if that makes sense, where it's just then she's not getting around as easily. Okay, do they encourage her to use a walker towards the end of her life?
No.
No. Does she need some assistance getting around?
Yeah.
Okay, I can take that then. Are we a little concerned when she's by herself that she could be a fall risk, like a risk of having a fall? Yeah, okay. She just feels like she still wants to get up and do stuff. Like she's like, I'm just gonna go right over there and pick up that. And everyone's like, no, let me help you. But she doesn't necessarily feel like she likes to be completely doted on and waited on. Does it make sense with her? Okay, let's see. But do you actually start seeing her more in her later years? It feels like you try to spend a lot of time with her in the last, I want to say like 5 years of her life.
Yeah, I tried to do that when I could.
Okay. And I know that she just really appreciates the relationship that you guys had, because she makes me feel like you're a good listener too. So she must be telling you stories about her youth and when she's in her younger years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's a sense that, okay, she's a little bit funny too, because she's like, not everyone likes to listen to an old lady's stories. It's kind of the way I'm hearing it, but she makes me feel like you really gave her space and listened and were interested in hearing about her life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally.
And it's a sense of appreciation for you for giving her a chance to kind of relive those memories out loud and share with you. Because I feel like she tells you like about her like heyday is kind of what she's saying, like her teenage and early 20s years where she has a totally different life than the one you know her to have. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like how it was then and the things she got to do. Okay, does she actually sit with you and show you some old photos of when she's much younger?
Yeah, like when she had my dad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she looks so pretty. Okay, let me see. Okay, do you actually have still a photo of her that you keep up somewhere?
I do actually.
And are you in the photo as well?
Yeah, like actually, matter of fact, it's right here.
Okay, because she makes me feel like it's the two of you in this photo together, but you're a little bit younger. I can't see it. Put it up there.
A little better.
Oh yeah, there you
That's
guys are.
my brothers and my grandmama. So.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, well, she's aware of that. And I know that she's aware that you keep her with you all the time, is the way she says it. Like she's with you all the time is how it feels. Okay, the one last little bit is, do you still have a blanket that belonged to her or that she made?
I don't have a blanket of hers, but I still have like some of her stuff from her old home.
Her place. This kind of looks like one of those Afghans that someone like crochets or knits. Did she make those?
Yeah, she did every once in a while.
Okay. But then I feel like she had one that was hers that she would use as like a lap blanket. So in her older years, you remember her having like a little blanket that she sometimes put on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you don't have that, then I feel like one of your brothers or your dad has it. So just check if you don't know. Because I know someone still, I don't feel like you guys wear it or use it like she did, but it's around is kind of what she's saying. And I know she's never far from you. So let me see what else. The little last bit that she's giving me is there like a bird that you see that makes you think of her, or like a certain type of bird? It feels like these little birds.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's acknowledging that she sends you signs through these birds and that they, you know, they're very happy birds, which feels like her. She feels like just a cheerful little bird. And I know that she brings your awareness to them and then has them kind of come near you. Are these right outside your house somewhere?
Like 2 blocks away.
Okay. But it feels like you see them more than one place. Feel like you know. But anyway. Okay. Because is that something you guys enjoyed together? Was going to like feed birds when you were younger or see birds?
It's
okay.
not really.
You can say no to me. You're great. Not really. Okay. Okay. So one last little bit is in the home that you last remember her living in, does she have like a big window, like a big picture window?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, is there a chair near there that she spends time sitting in? Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like she likes to look out and watch the birds there. That's where she's got me with her watching them. I know that's just enjoyable to her. And she makes me feel like you made her time here more enjoyable because you guys had that mutually sharing friendship and talks together. So I know that there's a thank you for that. And she just feels like this calm, gentle breeze. Like I know you feel her around physically pretty often is kind of the way she makes me feel if you let yourself open up for it. So she said, just honor that and that she is around you. Thank you so much for sharing her with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
You too. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for popping on, or for anyone watching afterwards. Happy New Year to everyone. And it's good to see you all. And I think Kelly and I will both be back next week. And then we may change the schedule from there. But hope everyone can make it again soon. And thank you all for coming in and sharing all your loved ones with us. Thank you guys.